What's up, Higher Youth? Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us as we journey through our new series, Summer Guide to Success, where we will be enlightened on how to truly be successful. Did you all do your homework last week?
That's a good question.
What do you think of Christ?
Let's not forget Father's Day is June 21st. Hope you've thought about the things you can do for your father, uncle, or role model. Now, remember, you only have a week to plan or order things, so hurry. Shipping is a pain right now, so you don't want to wait till the last minute.
That is so true right there. So lastly, we want to invite you and all of your friends to connect with us by following at higher.youth on Instagram and clicking the link in the bio. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Woo! Let's go, Terrence.
Previously on Higher Youth TV, we started a new series titled Summer Guide to Success. Our memory verse for the next couple of weeks is Romans 12:2, and it says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." Y'all remembering that, right? There it is. Last week we focused on the first clause, do not conform to the pattern of this world. Now when we say pattern, this is what we mean. We got a new person, Theo, thank you for joining us. When we say pattern, Theo, what we mean is a way things are consistently done. Kind of like you've created a pattern of working out, right? And what life has taught me, and I'm certain it's taught you, is that patterns lead to results. They either lead to some form of success. For example, I'm not like Theo, but I've officially been running about 10 miles a week for the last 2 months. And as a result, I've started to see the long-awaited weight loss that I had desired, right? Patterns lead to results. Now, when those patterns don't lead to a form of success, they naturally lead to some form of failure. I never desired to gain weight, have a double chin, or be ashamed to take my shirt off at a pool. But because of the negative patterns of unhealthy eating and a lazy approach to exercising, I gained that fat. Patterns lead to results. And the key to a successful summer is follow God's pattern. Now, we ended last week's episode with a question. And that question was, what ye think of Christ? The reason this question is where we pick up today is because of this point. The things we do on purpose or intentionally, it reveals what's important in our hearts. That's intimacy. People who work out a lot show us that fitness is on their hearts. People who eat a lot show us that food is on their heart, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with the items I listed. You can like fitness, you can even enjoy food. But remember what we learned from 1 John 2:15 and 17. Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. For everything in the world, everything, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, comes not from the Father, but from the world. The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever. The patterns of the world don't last. Only the way of God lasts forever. So eventually you won't have them abs no more, Doc. It's just how it goes. But it's not easy to change those patterns, which is why the next clause of our memory verse is so important. And it says, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Proverbs 27:3 tells us that as a man thinketh, so is he. You see in the Bible, oftentimes when it mentions the mind, it's actually talking about your heart. Like they're connected, which brings us back to our point. The things we do on purpose or intentionally reveals what's important in our hearts. See, our thinking is connected to our mind, and our mind is connected to our hearts. And that's why in order to stop those old patterns, in order to begin following God's patterns, you have to be transformed and renew your mind. See, in that verse, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that word transform is actually talking about not just, like a butterfly doesn't need anything to become a butterfly. It's in its natural kind of life cycle, and it, one day it transforms into a butterfly. But This case, transform, is talking about a transformation as a result of being with someone. So that's real big, that's real key to look into, because the key to discovering God's pattern is a relationship with Jesus Christ. Your time with Jesus will do the following. It's gonna help you see your purpose. It's gonna help you identify the wrong patterns. And it's gonna give you the right patterns to follow. Your success this summer starts with a renewed mind, a mind fixed on Jesus. The things you do on purpose, the things you do intentionally, are what reveals what's on your heart. I wanna ask you a question. Is Jesus on your heart? Do your patterns reveal who Jesus is? You know, that's what we're talking about. If you wanna be successful this summer, then that's gonna be the key. It's gonna be a relationship with Jesus. Only then will you truly be able to have a different perspective and change your thinking. You see, when you link up and when you hook up with Jesus, what's gonna happen is it's gonna expose you to a whole new perspective. Yeah, you're gonna like things of the world. You may want ice cream, you may wanna have fun, but your perspective is gonna be focused on Jesus, which means you'll know how to enjoy those things without ever putting them before Jesus. And that's really the key of what we're talking about. If you wanna be successful, if you want this summer to not go the normal way. Most people look at summer and they think of parties, they think of no school, no homework, just fun, right? Things of the world. I wanna challenge you to create new patterns this summer. I wanna challenge you that when you go out, whatever you're doing, that you reveal who Jesus is. I want to thank you for tuning into this episode as we just keep diving into this series, Summer Guide to Success. I want you to make sure you bring somebody, or you ain't bringing them, but share with somebody this episode and share somebody the episode next week, because you don't want to miss it as we keep going. I want you to look at the memory verse, really begin to meditate on this, reflect on it. Do not conform to the patterns of this world. So we talked about in the first week, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's only possible with a relationship with Jesus Christ. I love you, and tune in next week. One take, Jake.
Wow, Tirsa, that was such a good message about the renewing of your mind.
Yes.
Especially with everything that is going on. Look, that is important. Take the advice.
Yes, we definitely need that. Don't forget, June 21st, Father's Day.
All right, make sure you stay connected. See you next week.